The Peculiar Pet Emporium. Mr. Thimblewick's shop was not like other pet shops. It didn't have the yapping of puppies or the mewing of kittens. Instead, it hummed with a soft, magical whirring sound and smelled of peppermint and old books. Its windows were always slightly foggy, and if you pressed your nose to the glass, you might see a terrarium that held a tiny, weather-controlling cloud, or a tank where fish made of light swam in silent, shimmering circles. One rainy Tuesday, a very quiet little girl named Ilra pushed open the heavy, creaking door. A tiny bell chimed not with a ding, but with a sound like a falling star whooshing past. "Ah, a customer," chirped Mr. Thimblewick, appearing from behind a stack of cages that held snoozing, snoring dust bunnies. "Looking for something scaly? Something furry? Something that glows in the dark and sings lullabies?" Ilra shook her head. She pointed to her throat and shook her head again. She couldn't speak. Mr. Thimblewick's spectacles gleamed with understanding. "Ah, I see. Not a voice for speaking, but a heart for listening. I have just the thing." He shuffled to the very back of the shop, where a small, unassuming cage was covered with a velvet cloth. He pulled the cloth away to reveal a creature no bigger than a teacup. It had the fluffy body of a dandelion seed, large owl-like eyes that blinked slowly, and 6 delicate, shimmering legs. It was the color of a pale moonbeam. "This," whispered Mr. Thimblewick, "is a listenbug." The listenbug tilted its head and one of its long, whispery antennae gently uncurled towards Ilra. She leaned closer. Plink! Plink plink! The sound of raindrops on the shop's roof echoed inside her mind, but it sounded like 1,000 tiny drums playing a happy rhythm. Ilra's eyes went wide. She nodded vigorously. That's how Ilra took the listenbug home in a little woven basket. She named it Pip. With Pip perched on her shoulder, her quiet world bloomed with secret sounds. She learned that her mother's knitting needles went clickety-clack swoosh, which was the sound of love being woven into a scarf. She learned that the old oak tree in her backyard didn't just rustle its leaves, it told long, groaning stories about the days when it was just an acorn. But the best sound was the one Pip led her to one evening. It was a soft, hiccuping, shivery sound coming from under the garden shed. Ilra lay on her stomach in the damp grass and peered into the darkness. Too scared, shiny eyes peered back. It was a little hedgehog, tangled in a knot of old string and thorns, and it was crying a sound so small only a listenbug could hear it. Working carefully, her small fingers gentle and patient, Ilra untangled the prickly creature. Pip sat beside her, its antennae quivering, translating the hedgehog's frightened shivers into grateful, soft purrs. When the hedgehog was finally free, it didn't just scuttle away. It nuzzled her hand, its tiny purr rumbling against her skin. And right then, Pip did something extraordinary. It floated from Ilra's shoulder, its fluffy body glowing brightly. It circled the grateful hedgehog, and as it did, the little purrs, the sound of the rain, the rustling stories of the tree, and the feeling in Ilra's own heart all twisted together into a beautiful, wordless song. A tear rolled down Ilra's cheek. It wasn't a sad tear. It was a full, happy, understanding tear. And as it landed on a blade of grass, she took a deep breath. And she spoke. Her voice was rusty and soft, like a door that hadn't been opened in a very long time. "Thank you," she whispered. Pip floated back to her, its big eyes blinking with joy. It hadn't given her a voice. It had simply helped her hear all the music that was already inside her, waiting to be shared. And from that day on, though she still loved to listen, Ilra was never truly quiet again. The end.